So we are run this first, then you will understand. Okay, so run the program. Let's run the program. So what are the inputs you are giving for this? You are giving only double value 1, double value 2, and then operator. What operator you are giving? Plus, minus, star, this one, right?
Division.
So these are the things you are giving. But
Yes,
this one is you are giving as a string here. This will take as a string. Okay. So that means you are getting here. So for example, you entered plus, it will be coming like this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That one you are getting caret method. So here, how many characters are there in this string?
Only one guy.
Only one. One means what is that? 0 index, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's why you are giving 0 here. That one only you want, right? You want that one only. So you don't want other ones.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So that's the reason you. So this you're getting from this string the first character. That's the 0 means.
Okay.
The first character is this one that you are getting, and that you are storing in the operator variable.
Okay, sir. That's it, sir.
Okay. So any other questions? Okay. So let's move on to the locators. Okay. So sorry, not locators. So we have a topic loops, right? Loops are iterators. Loops are iterators. So loops are iterators. So what are those loops or iterators? And let's go here and go to our blog. Control structures, loops. So why do you need a loops? So loops are basically used for iterating from one position to next last number. So our last number to first number. So you want to iterate that. To do a iteration, we are going to use loops concept. For example, just take a simple example how important loops are. So basically it will reduce the code complexity and number of lines of code will be reduced completely. So how it will reduce number of lines of code? So you can see if you want to print 1 to 10 numbers, you will write 10 times system.out.println. The same thing you can achieve with the for loop with a single print statement. That's the difference between loops and the repetitive code will be, you can keep in the block and you can loop it. So you can tell, okay, this many iterations you go, that you can tell her. So that is this loops will help you. Okay. So loops are used in programming to repeat a specific block of code until certain condition is met, false. So you want to repeat a specific block of code until your condition is met, false. If your condition is not false, so what will happen automatically? So it is keep moving on. So keep moving on. That point you need to remember. If it is not true, then it will exit immediately. If it is a true, keep going to the next iteration, next iteration, next iteration. So that's this concept, loops concept. So we have different type of loops: while loop, do while loop, for loop, for each loop. So these are the loops. So these are the different loops. And So while loop, basically while loop, so allows the code to be executed repeatedly until a condition is satisfied. Until your condition is satisfied, it will keep on executing the while loop. So the number of iterations is not fixed, only a condition you know, then recommended to use while loop. So you don't know number of iterations, but you know only condition. Then always you can go for the while loop. If you know number of iterations, then you can go for the for loop. So while loop is also called entry control loop. That means the entry itself, it will check the condition. Entry itself, it will check the condition. That's the entry control loop, we call that. And so this is the one. You can initialize, then while condition, curly bracket, so body of the while loop, so close the while loop. So the condition will be evaluated first. The condition will be evaluated here in the while loop. Then only the block code will execute. So if it returns true, then the body of the while loop will be executed. In the body of while loop, the statements contain an update value for the variable that is so used for the next iteration. So here you will update the value in the body that will be used for the next iteration to check the condition. So if the condition returns false, then the loop terminates, so which marks the end of its life cycle. And so the syntax is initialization, so while condition, and logic plus statements, so increment or decrement, and curly bracket starts and ends. So this is the structure of while loop. First you need to tell, okay, from where you want to start. So that's the initialization. And while condition, so check the condition. So the condition place, which one you want to keep, greater than or equal to or less than or equal. When to use greater than or equal to, when to use less than or equal. So that's a confusion will come, right? So I'll give a clear picture on this. So, and also you have increment operator and decrement operator. When to use increment operator, when to use decrement operator in the body. After logic, you will finally you will increment your initialized variable value by 1. And you will decrement the variable value by 1. So when you can use increment, decrement, and less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or less than or greater than, when you will use that. So that we'll discuss in detail. So basically, let me give you here itself. So your initialized value. So basically local variable you will use. Initialization place you have to use local variable syntax. What is local variable syntax?
Data type variable name equals to
variable
value.
Yeah, data type variable name equal to value. You will initialize with a local variable concept. After initialization, that variable name you are going to use in this condition, then you will use either less than or greater than. So, but when to use less than or greater than is, your initialization is a lowest value, and then you are checking a condition here with a max value. So maybe you are comparing this initialized variable, suppose int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10 you are saying. That means ascending order. You are using ascending order. You want to print 1 to 10 or 1 to 100. That's ascending order, right? If that ascending order is there, always in the condition place use less than or equal to or less than. Then in the body use increment operator. Use increment operator. Then when your initialized value is the max value, and you're so you're checking with the lowest value here, then use greater than symbol. and then decrement operator you need to use. So that means why you need to use a decrement operator? You are starting with a bigger number, and if you want to reach the lowest point, every time you have to reduce by 1, right, in this variable, then only will reach this point, like 10 to 1. How will reach 1? Every iteration you reduce the 1 from 10. 10, next iteration 9, next 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So how will reach that? If you reduce this initialized value with this decrement, then it is possible. So that is the cases you have to remember. So when to use less than, when to use greater. So remember, you are starting with the lowest value and you are going for the max value, that time less than and plus plus. But you started with the max value and here the last condition value, boundary value, you're putting a lowest value, that time you use greater than or equal to symbol. Okay, so greater than or equal to symbol. So that's how you can use greater than, less than symbols. So is this clear? See this. First your condition will check here. So code it will come directly here, the variable value whatever you have taken, the variable value with the variable value, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, the code inside the while loop will execute. At least remember this diagrams, it will be easy for you. First directly check the condition first itself. That's why this is called entry control. You're controlling in the beginning itself. And then checking the code, executing the code. Then the variable you will get an updated value. Because you are incrementing or decrementing. Anything you will do. So whatever the initialized value will change here in the block, while loop block. That updated value again it will come here. So it will change whatever the variable value, it will change here. So here it will change and that will be used here in the condition again, next iteration. And if the condition is true, keep moving there. Keep moving there only. If condition is false, it will exit. It won't go inside the while block. So that's so you can see here, printing from 1 to 10. 1 to 10 means ascending or descending order?
Ascending orders.
So ascending order. So it's an ascending order. Ascending order means I already told you. So you have to start with the initial value as the lowest number. This is the initialization. So int I equal to 1. That's here also. You can see this is the beginning value. Here, this is the beginning value, initialized value. Then the outer boundary is here. So this variable you have to use while I less than or equal to 10. Why I use less than or equal to? I value should be less than or equal to 10. Until that, you iterate, you are saying. Then first time you write like this, then it will help you. So if you don't write like this, and it's going to be a problem, you won't understand the loops. So first I value how much? 1. So then here you write in this, so double curly bracket, you double forward slash, this is a commenting, right? Commenting. I value, what is the I value initially? 1. So replace here 1. Less than or equal